Hello and welcome to the new year, of course, 2018, and of course to our continuous software training webinars, the first one in this year. My name is Daniel, and in the next, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes, we will discuss another topic. On one hand, you can see we will discuss Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain, a very new topic that, of course, as you might be aware, came up in the last couple of months and before that. And I will also show you, of course, how you could analyze these markets with AgenaTrader. So a little bit about me. I'm working for the AgenaTrader project since almost 4 years now, and I'm head of the department of education and support, and I'm hosting such webinars to show people how to use AgenaTrader, to understand it, and yeah, be successfully hopefully with it. But let's get to the main topic, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain. All right. First of all, what is blockchain? It's the technology behind Bitcoin, so the real invention right here. People see it from different direction. What's the real use case? What could it replace or disrupt? So there are various interesting ways it could lead us to. One way where I took what I think it's quite interesting, and I got this from a very interesting source. I will show you the references and sources I used for this presentation, is the idea of a new Web 3.0 blockchain. We had Web 1, let's say, in the early 1990s, where the internet was, let's say, released or invented. Only about 10 years later, they reinvented it and called it Web 2.0, where a lot of new platforms, applications, e-commerce possibilities came up, which were developed and researched in the years before, and turned the internet in a direction, let's say. And we all know that in the early 1990s, internet was quite slow and expensive. Even in the beginning of 2000, it was still quite slow and very expensive. And today we have cheap flat rates, and it's very quick, it's very fast. So it's always a way of development. So blockchain and for example Web 3.0 blockchain wants to get rid of the middleman of the server. As you know, at the moment, internet, how it's distributed, even though it's a lot of servers who distribute the internet, but it's always a central server and a lot of clients around it. And with this new way, they want to go in a direction of a P2P network, peer-to-peer, where we cut off the middleman and be servers and clients simultaneously with a trustless network, basically, which you can trust, because all the rules, the consensus protocol clarifies the rule set, how the network has to communicate and interact with each other, and it's programmed, it's a mathematical approach, so you know from the very beginning what you're getting into, and everyone has to play by rules. It's shared, it's public, which means it's distributed among a lot of users. There is no single entity, so when one user goes down, this doesn't mean that the network goes down. It just does mean that the network might be a little bit smaller, it will be a little bit smaller or slower, but then it cannot go down because it is shared and distributed. It's public, which means it's also transparent, which I have also here, so you can inspect the blocks which are created on the blockchain, and it's very transparent how the system works, what was created in the block, what kind of transactions are there. So there is it's really open source. And yeah, ledger of transactions, very important, interesting methodology. As we know, or as you hopefully know, blockchain distributes databases, ledgers to everyone who wants to participate. So everyone has a ledger saved and starts then mining and has all the information. And these ledgers contain transactions. A transaction, how much, for example, Bitcoin went to whom, in this case to addresses. Of course, it's not always known who owns the address, but you still know who transacts what and where. It's decentralized, as I said, no central entity. It's a trusted network because we have this consensus protocol where everything is set and you know from the very beginning in what kind of rule set you're going into, and everyone has to play by these rules. Distributed database, again, ledger of transaction, which is distributed and everyone owns or can store this database. You can store it at home at your PC in your hard drive if you want to. If you want to, of course, start mining Bitcoin, you probably have to have more computing power than one PC. We'll get a little bit later to that. Cryptography is used in the protocol. It's a chain of blocks. I will come to that later on. Game theory is an interesting part, which is one very important part of blockchain and Bitcoin. Mining, of course, this is how you verify this transactions to secure the network and make sure that the network is running. Hash rate, I also come to that. This is how you calculate the computing power which is provided to the network. And 2008, 2009 are the numbers. 2008, the white paper came out from Satoshi Nakamoto, who invented, or at least claimed to invent, blockchain and Bitcoin. And in 2009, in January, 9 January, the Genesis block, the first block was mined and the first Bitcoins created. So this next slide, this is not from me, it's from blockchainhub.net. You can see the source, the web URL at the bottom. I would invite you to look onto this website. It's very interesting, very good stuff. It's educational. You can learn everything you need to know about blockchain, about Bitcoin, about Ethereum, and probably others, and about the crypto economics, token economics, and so on. I will try to share something a little bit later from the website. And I've used the slides, these pictures I found on this website because they illustrate in a very good way how this system works. Left side, what is a blockchain? As you could see, what all these names I called before are also here, shared public ledger of transactions and so on. And you see that all these laptops here, they represent these participants on the network, the miners, who store, for example, the ledger and share this distributed database and mine in this system. And the mining make sure that these transactions are secured and encrypted, basically. Which also means that if one of these laptops, one of these miners goes down, this network is still continuing to work because it's globally, it's all around the world. It's not concentrated on one area, even though of course you have concentrations happening, but still it's a global phenomena and you cannot shut it down like you cannot shut down the internet. On the very right side, this explains why it's called a blockchain. First of all, cryptography is used to verify all these transactions which are made during, let's say in Bitcoin, in a 10 minutes time, to encrypt them so it cannot be changed afterwards. And it's called block because every 10 minutes, one block or one transaction encryption ends, and it's like a block which is then closed down, secured, cannot be changed afterwards. And it's called blockchain because each and every block contains the information from the previous block. So it's like a chain, one block after the other. It has a limited storage size. In Bitcoin, it's 1 megabyte. There are huge discussions about it, but at the moment it's 1 megabyte. This first block here, this is the Genesis block, which I explained, which was mined in 2009 in January and gave out Bitcoin. And since then, the mining reward, because every time a block is finalized, it gives a reward to the miners, and it gives a reward to one miner who found the right encryption key. And when 51% of the network agrees that this is correct, then he gets the reward. If it is less than 51%, of course, there is no block created, so it's really a democracy. Each one has a full node in a P2P network, so each of the miners has a has the full database, the full ledger stored. And can inspect it 100%, so they always need to be synchronized. Game theory, the next part after P2P network, is why should you actually invest in computing power, invest in electricity and so on, because you get a reward if for every block you found, you could find the right encryption. And at the moment, it is 12.5 Bitcoins, if I'm correct still, which are distributed as a reward to the one miner who found this block. And every few years, this block reward is halved, so minus 50%. And if more and more miners enter the system, the difficulty increases, and then the network has a fixed protocol where they increase difficulty plus halving the rewards. And it's an estimation that only in the 22nd century, 2100 something, the last block of Bitcoin can be mined, and there is a cap of 21 million. But I think the last Bitcoin will never be mined, because if you if you increase the difficulty by 50% all the time, so you're halving the time you can reach this new block, you are basically you could actually never reach it, but this is just a theory. Well, hopefully this is still understandable. If not, just type in some questions. All right, like I said, all this information comes from blockchainhub.net. It's a Berlin company, Berlin hub, which was founded a few years ago. All right, there is some. All right, this header here, okay, just so POS, proof of work, Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin itself works on a proof of work concept. It means if you can prove that you committed computing power and electricity, you get a reward for that. And on the left side, this is just some random picture about a laptop, because in the very beginning in 2009, when the first miners start mining and joining the network, it would have even been possible to mine with a laptop and get some rewards with that, or with a regular computer and stuff. But as of today, it's more like the picture on the right side, and you see this huge mining farm, where I found a picture on bitcoin.com, and you can see how much money is invested in mining technology. So this is not small anymore. And Bitcoin.com is no reference I want to give out. I just found a picture there which was quite illustrative. And Bitcoin.com is some cloud mining company basically. But you have to think about more in this direction of investment if you really want to mine Bitcoin. So the next one goes in a new direction. It clarifies, it's also from blockchain.hub, this picture. And you can see here the internet layer, TCP/IP infrastructure protocol. Then you have the blockchain layer, which I tried to explain with the P2P network of computers, with the consensus rule, the governance, which define the rule set and the behavior of all actors. So it's very clear how this this network of computers has to communicate with each other. And the last one, of course, record of transactions. Everyone stores all the database of transactions, every one of these participants. And there's another layer which came out a little bit later in 2014 or 15, if I remember correctly. The Ethereum project was the first one to, at least as of my knowledge, who invented another application layer on top of the blockchain. The smart contracts were born, where you have a programming language and can program applications, for example, on a blockchain, in this case, and on the Ethereum blockchain. So before this came out, many of companies created blockchains all around different ideas. And now with this one, you have one blockchain which can run various applications, because you can program on the blockchain. You can create your own token, which means you can create your own cryptocurrency in form of token based on the Ethereum blockchain. And smart contracts are nothing less than regular contracts for purchasing something, for regular law. I would say you can program into these contracts. Well, what is Ethereum? In September last year, 2017, there was a talk of TechCrunch with the founder and Vitalik Buterin, the inventor and founder of Ethereum. And this founder called it the Java for blockchain, because Java was a virtual machine with a programming language which allowed people to use this programming language and the computing of the virtual machine to create applications for that, which transformed the internet as well. Smart contracts, as I mentioned, world computer is always a word that is related or gets related to Ethereum, because Ethereum wants to be a world computer. DAO is something very interesting. The decentralized autonomous organizations, so organizations which have no need for management, no top-down structure, but are decentralized, and everything has a governance and rules set how the network has to behave and interact with each other. DApps, decentralized applications. This is this application layer of Ethereum where you can build a decentralized application based on their blockchain. Ether is the token, the coin, which is produced in the same way at the moment, or a similar way like it's produced on Bitcoin with proof of work. So in this way, I think it's 14 seconds each block is created. They are faster than Bitcoin, and it produces Ether as a reward. And the network at the moment, if you want to make a transaction, you are actually spending Ether, a little bit of your Ether for the transaction, but the network itself burns gas. So this is quite a bit, let's say, confusing though. However, it might get clearer with the new proof of stake system they are focusing on. They want to switch over from proof of work to proof of stake, where everyone who owns Ether is basically getting a percentage, a stake of the rewards. There might be a minimum amount of Ether you need to get rewards. This is still unclear. But if you have enough and you, let's say, block it for amount of time and use it, you're getting, let's say, dividends, kind of dividends. In form of Ether, I presume, or maybe in form of gas, but this is all still unclear. Token and ICO is something very interesting. Like I said, other companies, other programmers can use the Ethereum blockchain and create their own tokens on it, their own cryptocurrency. and a platform with that. And the invention, which mainly, let's say, came out earlier as 2007, but in 2007 it was a great year of ICOs. It's something similar like an IPO, initial public offering, but also not quite the same, because the initial public offering is most likely a company that owns that has a working product, that has customers, that makes money, where an ICO is still in the production phase and is searching for crowdfunding or funding for the project. And with the ICO and the smart contract based on Ethereum, these companies were able to create a crowdfund where if you send Ether to their address, you would get back the token of this company. And if they do it correctly, this token is later on traded, for example, or increases in price because of the company is successful, or of course is not successful, then it could decrease in price. So with this crowdfunding, you could be a shareholder with no rights. This is one disadvantage, but you would be a shareholder of this company, and if they gain something and the token gains in value and you sell it, you can probably make a profit. But ICOs are very much criticized because it's unregulated and there's a lot of scam, a lot of phishing sites outside. So you have to really be very, very careful in what you invest and if you should invest at all. The disclaimer, of course, everything I'm talking about today is never an advice for an investment. Markets at all, and especially the cryptocurrencies, the crypto markets are very, very risky. They're very volatile, so you most likely can lose a lot of money there. So everything here is just for educational purposes. I would like to inform you what blockchain is and a little bit about what currencies there are existing, and it will show you how you can get data and do market analysis based on these currencies. Sources and references. Everything I explained today, just now, and will do, is from a few references I like to note down here. The first one is blockchainhub.net. I will just open the website for you. This is a Berlin-based company here where a lot of new hubs opened as well in Europe. And the founder here is Shamin Wokschmier. She has a PhD in economy and informatics. I don't know what's the right study here in the US or in English names, but she founded this blockchain hub and was a quite active person in the blockchain community. And I really like her website because it really focuses on the interesting part of this new technology, the opportunities, the new economy which could arise from it, and doesn't focus so much on the price. And what you will find here is evaluated. There is no scam here, at least I couldn't find any. And all these topics I just said with Web3, with what is a blockchain and stuff like that, I took from here, and as well as these pictures I showed you. Crypto economics, you can read how this token economics, crypto economics is working. Token is something I'd like to will show you in a moment. The smart contracts we discussed in a little bit. You can find some examples for smart contracts here. Oracles, interesting part. DApps we discussed, DAOs and ICOs we discussed and stuff. So really, really interesting stuff you can find here. Let's go to tokens. Get some information right here. This top-down, against decentralized, level of token, the Ethereum technology stack, internet blockchain application layer, where after the Ethereum blockchain with their native Ether token application can create their own tokens and create smart contracts that interact in their platform. Bitcoin layer internet blockchain Bitcoin token, and it's in research at the moment. The side chain which could allow an unlimited amount of side chains, and each side chain could be another blockchain or another token holding chain blockchain actually. So type of tokens, usage, work tokens. What I would like to show you here is what kind of perspectives of use cases tokens could have. She's writing like it could be an hour of rooftop solar energy. It could be a currency. It could be a crowdfund, which we discussed with the ICOs. A future download of a song from some artist. So everything where you might want to cut off a middleman. Insurance policies and so on. Tokens of ownership. So probably she means with that if you sell property like digital property or house or car or something like that, you could do this via blockchain, because this information that it was sold is stored and verified and secured, encrypted in the blockchain. Everyone can inspect it and watch it. So of course it needs to be accepted by government that this is that the transaction, a blockchain transaction, is valid in these areas, but could be a future idea. Exchange of physical goods, software licenses, stock certificates. So it really goes on and on and on. And I think she explored just a few things here. There are so many platforms already creating interesting technologies around it, and I will go to that in a minute. Bitcoin.org, this is I think the official Bitcoin website for informations where you get a wallet. So if you want to know more about Bitcoin especially, then and participate in the network, then you probably should start here. Ethereum.org, same way, this is the original Ethereum webpage. So if you want to get to know more about this project, participate in it, then you should probably start here. CoinMarketCap, you might know, this is very interesting. This is a web page which shows you the total market cap of cryptocurrencies in dollars, and it lists all the major, or basically all the cryptocurrencies. It's almost 1,500, and Bitcoin, as we know, is the biggest one, then Ethereum, Ripple, and so on and so forth. I'd like to use the website for two things. Of course, to find new projects, either coins. So I'm listing top 100 or a full list of really coins, which means this is a real blockchain. So they are different from each other. Everyone has a development team and creates it. And tokens. Tokens are basically applications, which I explained, that build on some blockchain. In the most cases at the moment, it's Ethereum they're building on, but EOS basically just released a token for crowdfunding and will build its own blockchain. I think the same counts for Tron, but I'm not so much aware about Tron. But as we see here, we have different applications or companies that made crowdfunding on Ethereum or maybe some other platforms, most likely, and the best, hopefully a lot of them focusing on applications using the Ethereum blockchain or another blockchain to build a decentralized application. And if you really want to know more about each and every project, you just go one by one, let's say open some of it, and go to the website and find out more about the projects built on Ethereum, for example. And I would really recommend to maybe use this CoinMarketCap website and go via the website link you find here. At the moment, I couldn't find real phishing sites or scam from this website, at least. I couldn't do it. I don't know if there would be any. And I'm really favor this website to for example, find out what projects are there and then use the website link here, because very often you get phishing and scam sites via Twitter, via Facebook, especially via advertisement, and then you're landing on a website which looks similar or the same like the original project. And since they're doing crowdfunding, you probably end up sending them your Ether or other currency, and it disappears just in the thin air because a phishing site caught you. So really make sure the URL here is the correct one, and I'm always double checking with CoinMarketCap. CoinDesk, also a good recommendation for news around cryptocurrencies. Very good website. Everything about price, new projects, politics and stuff like that you can find here. And the last one is also one of my favorite to really see how the network is doing. And what you see here at BitInfo Charts is the Bitcoin network, the hash rate. We discussed it. This is how computing power is summarized and named, let's say. And you can see the hash rate growth of Bitcoin here from 1 year. So from, let's say, beginning of mid of January till today, the network grew from about 2.6 exahash up to right now 19.4 exahash. So this is quite a huge development. At the same time, you see the price in US dollars, and you see the market is really correlating with it, except of course a few times, but quite correlating here. Now we see a huge price sinks, but still hash rate grows, so it's not correlating anymore, as we know, as you probably heard about since the last 2 days, especially Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies fell quite heavily. Is it a correction or whatever it is? It happened. I don't want to interpret it at the moment, but what I see is a network that's growing in numbers, growing in hash rate, and I'd really like to see the price not even as a secondary parameter, but something quite not unimportant, but not as important as the growing of a hash rate. And the second thing, of course, is the transactions, because the network is about to make transactions, and it must scale to do a lot of transactions hopefully in the future. Bitcoin is quite stable here on the sideline, doing in its top about 490,000 transactions in 1 day. Ethereum, you can watch Ethereum here as well. You see also a steady network growth in hash rate, and Ethereum has a transaction rate per day of 1.3 something million, so they are quite better with at least the amount of transactions. And yeah, you can find some more information right here, and I would really like to invite you to not only go by price, but more like what the network really is about, and this is hash rate, growth, and transactions. All right. Next step, we will go into AgenaTrader, and I will show you how you can access the data for it. Before we do it, I have to show you which data feed we need. Let's go to AgenaTrader.com, our website, and we go to Partners, Data Feeds, and we choose TeleTrader. Let's go to Live Account. The package costs 39 euros, which will have different markets inside, like delayed data for German Nasdaq indices and stuff like that. Some future markets, delayed data, EUD data for stocks, and real-time data for Forex. And if you want to have cryptocurrencies, you have to go to exchanges, go down here and go to Bitcoin cryptocurrency and select this one. It would be an extra €10 per month. and also this price right here is per month. And well, you can also get a demo, a trial account, so where you just get this standard package here for 30 days for free. It's not continuing, so you don't have to pay anything unless you subscribe for a live data feed. And if you get the demo package, you probably have to send an email to the support and ask them to also enable you the cryptocurrencies right here. After you did this, you can then go to AgenaTrader right here, add, let's say, a new connection, AgenaTrader, and enter your credentials to connect. And once you did this, it will anyway automatically import the mappings, but I will also show you how to do this manually. So you have this mapping import, and you go to advanced, you go to AgenaTrader, you go to currency and forex and click on import, and then it will import all the instruments you see on the left side and all the mappings. And additionally, you could go to instrument lists and import the Bitfinex cryptocurrency exchange, Bitstamp, BTC China, what else we have, Huobi, I don't know how to spell it. You have Kraken, OKCoin, and so on. So quite a few exchanges that are offered. Import them. And then you can open them in a scanner and with some charts. And I have here now Bitfinex, and you see the amount of pairs, cryptocurrencies you can find and analyze. We have here the Ethereum, hourly chart, daily chart, 15-minute chart, and so on. We have here, where is it, Bitcoin Euro, Bitcoin US dollar, and so on. So quite some interesting markets you can find here, NEO, and so on and so forth. You have Bitstamp with different markets. You have Kraken with all the markets. BTC China, I saw that there is no data coming in. Also, I mean, Huobi has some data right here, especially in the, let's see, but only end of day. As it seems, it's only coming for the day, at least for the others. OKCoin shows some data. Also end of day. Sorry, I have to just connect to the data feed. Missed that one here. Now it is not only end of day, but also intraday data. And Coinbase is also offered, but they do not offer the automatic download for that at the very moment. So you probably have to do this yourself, and I will show you how to map, for example, a AgenaTrader mapping. You basically just go to the AgenaTrader website, AgenaTrader.com, then search for, let's say, Ether, ETH, US dollars. Let's go to currencies, and then you find Coinbase, open it, and here in the URL you find the mapping symbol. All right. So you click, you just copy that mapping symbol, go to AgenaTrader, and you go to, let's say, search for Ether US dollar. Let's use Bitfinex, so we don't have to type in all the parameters. Open via this button right here. The instrument is called, and now we can change stuff here. And the only thing we will do is we will go and override this one and call it Coinbase now. I will remove this one. I guess this is not valid in this way. And here at the bottom, you go to AgenaTrader and exchange the mapping symbol. Everything else is already set because it's Ethereum from Bitfinex. The Ethereum from Coinbase works quite the same, only the mapping symbol is different. We save it, and that's it. And then we will find now Ether US dollar and choose the Coinbase. We can delete now Bitfinex, and now we have data received from Coinbase for Ethereum US dollar, and they also have Litecoin, they also have the Euro Bear, and they have the Bitcoin exchange bear. So you just go and search for the instruments for Bitfinex or Kraken, which are similar, and just overwrite the name and save it as a new instrument like I did before to get the Coinbase data with the mapping symbol from their website. All right, as you see, we have 143 Symbols we are getting from these different markets. So this is what you can analyze in AgenaTrader. Right now it's not possible to trade them. You can trade the Bitcoin futures from SIBO and from the CME with Gain, Rhythmic and Interactive brokers. They are offering that. This is possible also with AgenaTrader, but the digital exchanges are not possible yet, but maybe in the future. The next thing I would like to show is that we have packages for signals, for trading strategies with new indicators and stuff for your market analysis, and I created different workspaces reusing the ones we are selling and implementing the Bitcoin symbols or the Bitcoin, let's say, cryptocurrency symbols in it. Let's start with DAO Theory, Markttechnik in Germany, but DAO Theory Pro. And as you can see here with our watch list, we can, use the strategy to sort it out, have our list with signals, and for example, have here just a few which went through the watch list. Bitcoin Cash and US dollar gives a reversal bar on the day. This is this one, gives you a signal, a buy signal. But as you can see, this P1 to 3, which shows you the highs and lows of the markets, and if it's an upward or downward trend, also working on these cryptocurrency markets, and you can build signals on it and so on. Here there's also one which goes offers a short idea but no signal here. Here we would have a few signals. What else we have here? For example, Location Point, another package which we released last year, and this one is quite interesting, this package. So for example, the reversal signals from this package have a lot of signals right here. For example, the Bitcoin US dollar. I think I'm using the Bitfinex data right now. And as you can see, it gives you a signal right here for this candle because it reaches this EMA 130 line and makes a reversal bar in it. So here you have a lot of symbols you received with these packages after this huge correction, which proposed that the market could turn here, and you could go into the long directions, but of course you need a good trading strategy and understand the packages before you do so. But just to show you that this market really are working with these packages. You see all these reversals here on the proposed indicators here again, and then the market goes up here. It also has a few indications on the 20 line here again. So you really see that this package would have helped you probably to find good entry signals and trading strategies. Here again, it really goes exactly on the EMA 130, then returns and probably maybe goes up again or sideways. Let's see what's happening in the future of these markets. But really, to just show you, you could use AgenaTrader for your data analysis, for your signals, custom created or bought from our site. Here we don't have any signals. Here we have a few signals as well. 20 train. Here it proposes a signal because there's a reversal bar on the 20 train, and the market is not climatic but overbought for the moment. And there are other packages next to Location Point and Markttechnik, like for example COT, Commitment of Traders Report. This is, well, maybe not as usable as with other future markets at the moment, but just to show you that you could actually, let's see, I have to probably check the mapping right here. actually, just before that, this is the market value indicator. It relates the market to gold. And this one should actually give me some data about the future contracts, but at the very moment it doesn't do it. Well, I analyzed it before, and I can tell you that at the moment there are about from the last week there was 1900 future contracts short in the markets. Let me check if I can get this data. Well, I'm not sure why it's not happening right now, but well, there's only some little data right here at the very moment, so it will still take some time until more contracts are closed, basically. All right, let's go to workspaces. What else we have? We created once this premium webinars, maybe based also on location points. And also here you have the signals, this flag signal where you have a few candles, red candles down, and creating sort of a flag if you're in an upward trend. So also here you have signals, for example, the 15-minute chart right here, which could be a signal of the market turning again. But like I said, doesn't matter which strategy you have, which indicators you use, AgenaTrader could help you analyze these markets. All right. That's pretty much it for the moment. Of course, I did not explore all our packages we have. We would have, the Rhymes package, the Nielsen candlestick package, and other partners like Oliver Nachar with the MT on live signal, Rudiger Born with the Elliott waves, and so on and so forth. And you also could use these packages basically and watch the signals appearing and probably creating your trading strategies in these markets. However, if you want to trade, you at the moment have to go to the exchanges like Kraken or Bitfinex or the others and open your accounts and enter the trades manually over there. But you could do the analysis with AgenaTrader because as I see from my experience, most of these digital exchanges that lack good trading technology, good chart analysis, and AgenaTrader could help you with that. All right, that's my topic. I hope I could satisfy all the questions you probably had. Thank you for joining this webinar. Next week, same time, we will have a webinar where we'll introduce Traders Yard, a socialized trading platform for traders only, and we'll show you how we can make live stream and webinars with Traders Yard, how you could do this, and how we move over this webinar to the technology in Traders Yard. So thanks again for watching and have a great evening. Goodbye.